If your sketches look better than your finished drawings, chances are your shading might be the issue. In this video, I'll show you my most important shading tips, which will make your drawing instantly look more realistic. In a nutshell, better shading isn't only about blending, it's about values. Well, you could say it's a mixture of good physical technique with the ability to see and judge values correctly, with the second one being more important in my opinion. So the first tip I have for you before you even touch a pencil is to enhance your values by editing the reference. If you don't use a reference and you're just drawing from imagination, you can of course skip this step, but the references we choose are really important. And you can take an average reference photo to the next level with simple editing. Always keep in mind what you need for your artwork. In this case, this photo was a bit too bright and white for me. Keeping in mind I will draw on white paper, I wanted the light values to be a bit darker. And when editing the photo, I make sure to preserve a decent amount of values. Think of editing as a support for your observation. It's really important how your brain receives all this information, so you want to soak in as much data as possible. And keep in mind, the reference photo itself doesn't need to look perfect. It's just there to give you a good understanding of the subject. You are ultimately the master of what you create, not the reference photo. So here's the before and after of my editing. As you can see, I was able to bring out more of the middle tone compared to the before, which is just very bright overall. The way I have it now, it just gives me more information and more subtle values to work with. Now, moving on to the actual drawing, there's one thing I will always recommend when you sketch your block in, and that is to include shadow lines, as if they're part of the subject. This was one of the changes which made my portraits look more realistic. Before, I would just focus on outlines of features I see, eyes, mouth, face contour, and I thought this is absolutely enough to then just let the shading do the rest. Now, I treat these separated shadow areas as another feature I sketch down. And there are two reasons for that. One, it helps me to establish the proportions because I have more to work with and compare. And two, it lays down the basic structure of the whole subject and prepares the drawing for shading, meaning when I dive into it, I already know where everything has to go and there's no guesswork involved. I can then clearly focus on the shading itself and don't have to deal with the positioning of the most important information. To be completely transparent in this video, I will explain what materials I use and when. So for the sketching, I always use this clutch pencil, and this one is an age lead. I will have all my materials linked in the description if you want to check them out. When sketching, I try to be very gentle and light with the paper. I don't want to damage it, and I also don't want to apply too much pressure and destroy the surface. The shading is where most of the paper will be covered with graphite, so I try to be as minimal as I can with the sketching. Most of the times I don't even sketch on my good paper, and I just transfer my final block in onto it. This time I decided to do everything at once on the actual paper. In my latest artwork, Daydream, I did the exact same, as well as all the things I'm about to show you. But just a quick mention, if you are collecting art and like my artwork, you should check out my website, as I am currently running a limited edition with a very small number of these Giclée prints. So be sure not to miss that and subscribe to my newsletter for future shop updates. Back to the video. Once I am done with the block-in and I feel confident enough in my base structure, I am beginning to shade with the following steps. Okay, for this step, I will be using a 2H pencil, which is extremely sharp and pointy, and I'm trying to be really gentle here. It may sound stupid, and I was never even a person to be rough with pencils, but I still had to learn to be really gentle when shading. It does make a difference, but I of course have to say this is all a preference and you might work in a total different way. I am just showing what helped me and hope you can draw something out of this for yourself. So, gently applying my 2H pencil for the most significant shadow areas. I will do my best to highlight what I'm paying attention to on the reference. In this step, I will fill in areas which are either very dark or clearly separated from others. It also depends on the reference. Sometimes you have the darkest value clearly separated, but this photo is a bit more nuanced. As you can see, in this step, I already paid attention to the transitions and edges of certain shadow areas. I try to differentiate between super hard and crisp edges, like these, softened hard edges, and soft edges with a smooth gradient. This is very important to maintain throughout the whole shading process. This will make the drawing look realistic. It's something beginners oftentimes do when in reality not all edges are soft and blended, and not all of them are super harsh either. So now, this is something I started liking recently. I know it can be controversial. I like to use a soft tissue to smooth out all that pencil texture by gently using a circular motion. I'm not pressing hard here. Now, the next step is to reinforce dark values. For this, I will switch to an HB, and this is totally up to you. I'm just showing what I like to use. I go in and bring out those dark values again, and also define those super sharp, crisp edges. Basically, I'm just building up the contrast and try to preserve those really dark values. I always compare values with each other. For example, is this shadow on the lower eyelid as dark as the one on the crease? So you can see I already play with pressure when I fill in those values. I only use an HB, but there are already differences in value. The most important part for shading, in my opinion, is really to keep an eye out for those values, edges, and transitions. Once I feel confident in all these shadow areas I put down, I'm grabbing my initial 2H pencil again and fill in the middle value, which in this case is basically going over the whole subject. This depends on how your highlights will look or how you want to bring them out. For this drawing, I want to erase my brightest parts later. You can also just not use the tissue and preserve the white of the paper as the highlight. After I'm done covering the whole thing with my 2H, I again grab a tissue and blend out all the graphite on the paper. So by now, there's no more white left and all the graphite is softened, which also means I lost some of that contrast, but I'm going to bring that back once I'm happy with the amount of graphite as my base layer. So comparing the before and after, you can clearly see how I got rid of that streakiness of my pencil strokes. It's a preference, but I personally like it this way as for now. This last part of my shading process is a bit more chaotic. I like to go back and forth all the time, but for now I started using a 2B pencil to, again, darken the darkest parts. No matter what I do, I know this area, this crease and core shadow, are the darkest values overall. As for some blending, I actually like to use this eyeshadow brush here to drag the graphite on the paper. Additionally, I use some paper stumps, and I have all my materials linked below if you want to see the full list of what I use. I realized I needed to darken some of the middle values, so I switched back to my 2H. I'm trying to analyze and identify which areas I need to correct, so to speak. I mostly switch back and forth between those pencil grades, 2H, HB, and 2B. Tackling the bottom and looking at my reference, I know this area has to be the absolute darkest. Now that I brought out a lot of the dark and middle values again, I decided it's time to bring out the brightest parts as well, and I'm going to do this with my pencil eraser. Very handy because you can sharpen it, so you're able to work with your details here. With the highlights established, I now have the full range of my values. I went a bit darker with that eyelid crease and a 4B pencil because I needed this part as well as the bottom to be the absolute darkest. In the end, I finished the drawing by erasing the blended graphite around the subject. So during the whole process, I have this sort of tunnel vision on values, edges, transitions, and shape language. I am always trying to be extremely gentle with applying my graphite, especially in the beginning, and some blending tools like the tissue, brush, and stumps help me smoothen out some of that texture. But if I name the one thing which is most important for making your drawing look more realistic, it's probably the overall values. Well, the right values in the right place. And don't let this short video fool you, this process takes a lot of time, at least for me. I spend hours on this, and it's always a test of patience. If you're able to be very patient and gentle, I believe you can achieve great results. But if these tips were not enough for you, let me know if you want a full demonstration maybe, or one in which I give my commentary while I'm actually drawing. But with this drawing completed, I'll say I'll see you next time.